Trump, he is really who brought these people out in force, and his lack of a clear condemnation of white supremacy over the last few days. Now, I did see some violence here in Boston, but it was only between the police and some of the counter-protesters, and it happened when the police tried to escort those who took part in this so-called free speech rally at this bandstand behind me. When they tried to escort them out of the park, many counter-protesters wanted to stop them. They had to be pushed away violently. I saw some arrests, I don't know how many, and I don't know exactly why and who, but the good news from here, from Boston, is that the scenes from Charlottesville were not repeated.
Moving on now, and a manhunt is on for a Moroccan man suspected of killing 13 people and injuring dozens in Thursday's vehicle attack in Barcelona. Police in Spain and southern France are looking for the 22-year-old, who's also thought to be involved in Friday's attack, which killed one person in the resort of Cambrils. While Spain's interior minister put the country's terror threats at 4, the second highest level, declaring that no new attacks were imminent. Chris Moore is following the investigation for us in Barcelona. He had this update earlier.
The authorities certainly seem pretty confident they're approaching the end of the investigation. We had the Interior Minister earlier saying that he believed the terror cell responsible had been dismantled. It's believed that 12 people were involved in that. What seems less clear is the fate of all of those 12 people, certainly in perhaps one or more cases. And as you were saying there, certainly the case of 22-year-old Younes Abu Yaqub, who is thought, it seems, was the person who drove that vehicle down the Ramblas here in Barcelona on Thursday night, causing such a carnage. In terms of the narrative which the police seem to have put together, the focus now really on two towns. First of all, Alcanar, that's southwest of Barcelona. That's where there was a gas explosion on Wednesday night. And the theory there seems to have been that that explosion was caused by canisters which were being primed for use in a terrorist attack, which the police said would have been on an altogether different scale. Something then went wrong as far as the terrorists were concerned. It seemed spurring them to take more rudimentary, albeit equally lethal action. The inquiry also focusing on the town of Ripoll, which is to the north of Barcelona. That's where a lot of these suspects, many of whom were Moroccan citizens, seem to have come from. And we learned today that there's been a raid carried out by police there on the residence of an imam. And the Spanish media are speculating in what way he may or may not have been linked to the terrorist cell. We know, for example, that somebody who knows him told Spanish media that he said he'd left the country 3 months ago. He's allegedly since been cited since then. So obviously authorities are very keen to find out what has happened to him.
And now looking behind you.